All right, strap in because today we're plunging into a deep dive on Schulte Roofing. We've got quite a stack of sources
We
here.
do. It's a mix, right? Real customer reviews, sharing their actual experiences.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got info straight from the company's own website, what they say about their services, their history, their promises,
So our mission here is really to unpack all of that for you. We'll sift through it, pull out the key details, the insights.
and look at the different angles, right? What customers are saying versus the company line.
Exactly. See where they match up, maybe where they seem to diverge based on what we've got in front of us. The goal is just to help you get a clear, sort of nuanced picture.
Consider it your shortcut to getting informed on Schulte Roofing, combining the company story with customer voices. Let's start digging in.
Okay, so first off, Schulte Roofing.
hmm
How do they describe themselves in these sources?
Well, they position themselves as a top 100 roofing company, roots back in '94, Alvin, Texas,
Right. They moved to Navasota in 96, incorporated a few years later, 2002.
and clearly grown since then. They serve the whole state of Texas now, headquarters in Navasota, but offices in College Station, San Antonio, Temple, the Woodlands.
That growth, that multi-location thing,
hmm
that suggests a certain scale, doesn't it? It's a notable point right off the bat.
Definitely. And their mission, their slogan, is committed to excellence. Since day one, they say.
And they try to define that. It's not just words. They say it means installations that actually exceed manufacturer specs.
Competitive pricing, too. And interestingly, maintaining profitability so they can grow and be stable.
Yeah, they frame themselves as this multi-generational family business that plans on sticking around, being here for the future.
That focus on longevity, exceeding specs, those are claims to keep in mind when we look at the reviews later.
For sure. And the range of work they list is pretty broad. Commercial, residential.
And solar roofing, too.
Absolutely. For residential and commercial, the website lists like everything. New builds, replacements, repairs, maintenance. They even have a specific roof shield maintenance program.
Inspections, too. And they highlight 24/7/365 emergency service, plus help with insurance claims.
That emergency service claim is pretty significant, yeah.
It is. And the types of roofs: metal, slate, tile, the usual composition asphalt, flat and low slope. Quite a range.
And then there's the solar side. Schulte solar roofs, specifically mentioned for the San Antonio area in the source.
Right, described as integrated systems, aiming to cut electricity bills, boost home value, eligible for tax credits.
Or even give some component details like 45W to 73W systems, probably different sizes or efficiencies there, plus 247 monitoring, total power protection.
And they mentioned partnering with electricians for connecting to the grid, inverter, storage.
So yeah, combining roofing with solar seems to be a specific thing they're pushing.
And overall, the company states they design and build roofs with, thousands of options: material, color, performance, warranty, aiming to handle any budget or complexity. That's a big claim about flexibility.
It is. So, okay, that's Schulte Roofing's picture of themselves. Established, quality-focused, long-term view, broad services, even solar.
No. Let's pivot. What are the actual customers saying in these reviews we looked at?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, like you said. And the overall vibe, overwhelmingly positive. Mostly 5-star ratings in the batch we reviewed.
It's not just a few good ones either. There are definite themes popping up again and again.
Right. Consistency, like quality of work, that comes up a lot.
People mentioning beautiful roofs, Spanish tile, metal, jobs done quickly, prices matching the quote.
And crucially, repairs that actually stopped leaks. Some reviews even mention them fixing issues left by, the original home builder.
Oh, wow. Okay, what else?
Professionalism and communication. This is huge in the reviews.
How so?
Well, people use phrases like professional manner, courteous employees, respectful of property. Communication gets highlighted as really strong, keeping customers in the loop.
Any specific?
Yet, specific employees get shout-outs. Jacob Pimentel, Adam, Derek, Jeff, Charles, Stephen, Mike, Mark, Jora.
Okay.
And they're described as, articulate, polite, forthright, knowledgeable, honest, thorough, informative. People felt treated with dignity and respect. That personal touch seems key.
That really brings it home. What about speed, responsiveness, and promptness?
Another big plus, according to the reviews. Quick responses to assess damage, quick scheduling, work done in a timely manner, problems handled quickly.
So like after storms or for leaks?
Exactly. People mention them coming out promptly after wind or hail or for things like skylight leaks. That 104.7 emergency claim seems to have some backing in customer experiences.
Interesting. And handling tricky stuff.
Yeah. Handling specific situations, this gets praised too, like helping with insurance companies navigate that whole process,
Okay.
helping with gutters, fixing other people's bad work, tackling complex roofs, and cleanup. People notice the cleanup.
Oh, yeah. Always important.
There's even one review praising them for cleaning up another company's mess.
Wow. Okay. That's going above and beyond. What about value and trust?
Comes up frequently. Competitive bids, feeling they got the best value. Trust is a big word used.
Loyalty, too.
Customers using them for years on personal homes, rental properties, even general contractors saying they use Schulte.
That speaks volumes.
It does. And those specific employee shout-outs you mentioned.
Yeah, Jacob Pimentel is a knowledgeable, attentive manager. Adam as honest, informative, making things easy. Derek as a project manager who actually knows roofing, not just sales.
That makes a difference.
Jeff is a great communicator. Charles, thoughtful, responsive. Mike, polite. It suggests these individual interactions really shape the positive view for many customers in these reviews.
So yeah, looking at these reviews, there's a very clear pattern. Lots of positive experiences highlighting quality, professionalism, communication.
But, for a real deep dive, we need the full picture from the sources.
Exactly. It's important to get a balanced understanding based only on what's in front of us. And that means looking at the times when the feedback wasn't all sunshine and roses. Right. While most reviews are great, there are a few that share, let's say, mixed or challenging experiences.
And we should just report these impartially, right? What the review said and what the company said back if they did. No taking sides.
Absolutely. So one reviewer said a repair for a leak into a hood exhaust specifically was never fixed right, claimed they had to hire someone else.
Okay. And Schulte's response.
They requested the review be removed, said it was misleading, that they did stop leaks from multiple spots, and that upper staff were responsive, even offered direct contact. So a strong rebuttal.
All right. What else?
Another review described a frustrating start. The first crew apparently did a bad job, didn't show up regularly, quit early.
Oof. How did the company respond to that one?
They acknowledged the poor initial experience, said they were glad someone named Steven fixed it in the end, and mentioned action was taken regarding the first crew. So acknowledging the issue but pointing to a resolution.
Okay. Any others?
One mentioned plants destroyed and boards split during installation.
And the response?
Schulte apologized, said they did compensate for the plants and aimed to prevent that kind of thing.
What about bigger issues, like leaks on a newer roof?
There was one review claiming a metal roof leaked within 3 years and the company wouldn't fix it.
And Schulte's response there?
Pretty direct. They said they had no record of working for that reviewer, questioned the last name used, basically suggesting it might not be a real customer review.
Okay. A different kind of response.
Yeah. And another one, under the name Johnny Football, complained about workers leaving food and trash around.
Schulte's take?
They disputed it flat out. Said they always have dumpsters on site for debris and meals, implying it didn't happen based on their standard procedures.
Okay. And there was one more notable one.
Right. In one case, the owner responded to a negative review just by calling it a fake review and not a customer of record. No other details in that specific response.
Got it. So the takeaway is, while the vast majority of reviews we saw paint a very positive picture, professionalism, quality, communication, these few instances highlight reported challenges.
Exactly. And the company's responses give you some insight into how they handle or dispute those claims. From their perspective, it adds texture to the overall picture from the source material.
Okay, so moving back from customer experiences to the company itself, let's really home in on what they present as their strengths, especially warranties. That's always crucial with roofing, right?
Absolutely. And they put a lot of weight on something called the Bulletproof Roof Guarantee. They bill it as the industry's best warranty program and integrity system.
Okay, bulletproof. What does that mean according to their site?
Well, they state it covers both the manufacturer warranty and workmanship for life.
Whoa, for life. That sounds significant. What does that typically mean in this context based on the source?
Yeah, for life is a strong claim. Based on industry standards mentioned implicitly, it usually refers to the expected lifespan of the specific roofing material installed under normal conditions. Still, it's a major selling point they emphasize.
Okay. And it's transferable, offers a no-blame guarantee. What's that?
That suggests they won't get into finger-pointing between whether an issue is the material's fault or the installation's fault. They just handle it.
And a 100% satisfaction guarantee or money back. Those are bold promises.
They are. And they list specific warranty lengths, too, for residential. 12-month, 5-year, 10, 25, 50-year limited lifetime. For commercial, they mention NDL warranties up to 35 years.
NDL, what's that stand for again?
No dollar limit. Basically means if there's a covered issue, the warranty pays the full cost to fix or replace it, no cap on the amount. Generally seen as a stronger type of warranty.
Ah, okay. Good to know. And the sources link this back to installation quality, right?
Exactly. They point out that top-tier manufacturer warranties, like from GAF, CertainTeed, Sheffield Metals, often require installation by certified contractors to even be valid.
So Schulte emphasizing their in-house training, certifications, and claiming to exceed manufacturer specs. That's all tied to making sure those big warranties actually stick for the customer.
Precisely. That certification piece is key, according to the manufacturers themselves. Schulte also highlights safety, calls OSHA training and insurance, general liability, workers' comp, catastrophic coverage. Standard stuff, but they list it to build confidence.
And that maintenance program, Roof Shield.
Right. The website says it needs annual maintenance from the homeowner, but in return, members get priority for emergency service. It's like a way to encourage upkeep and promise faster help if something goes wrong.
Okay. So comprehensive warranties, skilled installers, safety, insurance, maintenance, these are the pillars they're building their reputation on, according to their own materials.
That seems to be the core message, yes.
So let's pull this all together for you, the listener. How does this deep dive, blending Schulte's own info with these customer reviews, how does that help if you're maybe thinking about getting some roofing work done?
Well, I think combining these sources gives you several layers to think about. First, seeing the range of reviews over time, the high volume of positives alongside the few reported issues that paints a much richer picture than just, a star rating.
Mm-hmm. And it really underscores how important it is to understand warranties, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Looking at Schulte's bulletproof claims, the different lengths, knowing what NDL means, why certified installers matter for manufacturer warranties, those details from the sources are tools you can use to evaluate any roofer's proposal, not just theirs.
And remembering how often the positive reviews specifically mentioned employees.
Right. It's an insight into why a company might be doing well on service. It often boils down to the people, the individual interactions.
And finally, looking at both the good feedback and the reported negatives, along with the company's responses, that gives you a window into how they seem to handle problems when they crop up, according to these sources.
Yeah, that responsiveness or how they communicate when things aren't perfect, that's a huge factor in the overall experience, right?
Definitely. So when you put it all together, the company's history, their wide range of services, including solar, the emphasis on training, safety, those detailed warranties like the bulletproof one.
And then you layer on the customer feedback, which is largely positive, highlighting professionalism, quality, good service, but also includes those few reports of challenges. You get a pretty comprehensive view based on the materials we reviewed.
It seems Schulte Roofing presents itself as, established, growing, very focused on technical standards and guarantees, offering a lot of different services.
And that self-portrayal gets significant backup from a large chunk of customer reviews praising their work, their people, and their responsiveness.
But like we saw, the sources also contain those few instances of reported issues, problems with specific repairs, maybe a crew, things like that, alongside the company's varied responses. Sometimes acknowledging, sometimes resolving, sometimes disputing or questioning the review itself.
Right. So maybe here's something to chew on as you process all this information we've discussed. When you're looking at a company Schulte or really any service provider using this kind of public info and customer feedback, how do you personally weigh that? How do you balance the impact of really consistent, widespread positive experiences against the potential range of outcomes suggested by those few negative reports, especially when you factor in the company's stated policies and how they respond to problems? What does that balance tell you about the kind of experience you might realistically expect?